morning, my loves. Happy vlog day. I always get this light wrong. I'm sorry. Hold on. There we go. All right. Good morning. Happy vlog day. Tuesday for me. Friday for you. Honestly, y'all, since last week, I feel a lot better emotionally and in my relationship. I feel like for me, navigating something like this that's just new. It takes a lot of communication because I'm a talker. I'm a person, I gotta understand. I gotta know what's going on. And I don't necessarily date a talker. The young lady who, I've made mention to these last few weeks isn't necessarily a talker. And I think that is where the discrepancy is. I don't do a whole bunch of talking. Like, I'm not I want to talk to nobody every day on the phone friend. That's another thing that I recognize is they probably talk a lot more on the phone, right? Because they actually want to talk on the phone. I talk on the phone for a living, and then I talk to y'all. Baby auntie be wanting to relax. And so after kind of expressing that feeling so that it does not boil up in my chest and become an animosity, and just like hearing the sincerity of my partner's voice and just kind of realizing within myself, there's no other way to kind of lay something like this to rest other than what happened. You know what I mean? It's great. I have no desire to keep beating this dead horse. And like I said last week, I have no desire to stop being friends with this young lady because I really, truly enjoy what she brings to our relationship, both logistically, emotionally, and all other facets. I'll be honest with you. Her interest in concerts and events around Chicago has increased my dating life. That whereas I'm not always making up the dates. Like, as a woman, you find yourself constantly being the person that makes up the dates. When there is another woman present in your relationship, she will toss out suggestions that kind of gives your man ideas, and then he kind of creates the dates as well. So it's not just like her feeding him ideas. It's like her being like, "Ooh, I wonder if your girl like da 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 da," and him being like, "Ooh, no, maybe she don't like this, but she like this," and then him bringing it to me. That first initial thought does not happen if there's not another woman there. So I'm grateful that I'm working through my feelings around it, because of I'm talking about friendship this week. So I'm just taking a quick little segue. I'm grateful that I'm working through my feelings around it because I want more meaningful friendships in my life. And it's not a requirement that the woman who's friends with me has to be involved with my partner in any way emotionally, but when there is that connection, then I can actually just hang out with her and hang out with him and don't have to worry about that. I feel like when I have friends that are just kind of like my friend, which we'll talk about, and I have friends that are just my friend, I hang out with them. And during that time, he'll hang out with like his brothers. He doesn't have a lot of like non-related friends. I'll be very honest about that. Because his best friends are either out of state. I think one of them is still gone out of state, but he will be back. Ooh, hold on, put that back down. He will be back our way soon, or we're gonna go visit him at some point once we kind of get settled financially on our end. But for the most part, if he's not with his brothers or his family, he's with me. If he's not with the boys, of course. If he's not with the sons, his brothers, he's with me. And so having a friend who I have a genuine friendship with, who also can spend hours with my partner by way of their friendship, relationship, connectionship, is actually for me a lot better. For just like things like road trips, vacations, etc. Because then I don't feel like I have to split my time. Like, for instance, some of my actual friends are coming to my vacation in Jamaica, and my biggest worry is like, me and my partner haven't been on vacation in 4 years. We just got through a hard tough in our relationship. I really want to spend the majority of those 5 days, in his face, experiencing these things with him. But then I also have friends that are coming and they're celebrating my birthday. They're celebrating their birthdays. And so navigating that in my 30s has been very interesting. And I'm so grateful for things like this platform to be able to express them, right? So let's talk about friends. That is the wrong song, but that is the melody. They said, "What about your friends?" There we go. But yeah, friendship for me has like, I don't know if it's evolved, but it's moved. So I feel like when I was younger, like high school, middle school ish, it was like everybody was your friend. You know what I mean? Like you made friends here, you made friends there, you moved around, you did this and the third. By like your 20s, it started to get very like these people are in your life to teach you a lesson. You know what I mean? Like my 20s was when the repo happened with my college best friend. It was when the fucking repo happened with my ex-boyfriend. It was when it was my first time like being subbed on the internet, subbing people. I think the only time I've ever subbed a girl or any of my friends on the internet is after they have subbed me, because bitch, what's wrong with you? I don't think I have ever, no, that's a lie. On my 25th birthday, I subbed Larissa. I subbed Larissa on Snapchat because all of my friends had made it to my 25th birthday vacation in Atlanta. And I made a video and was like, and if you couldn't make it to my birthday, fuck you, bitch. I knew that that was for her and that was disrespectful. That's why it's like, even though I do wish I could talk to her, because as I navigate life and I grow up, I realize like I was a spoiled ass brat in a lot of that friendship, and I would really love to just have a conversation with her. But I understand why she probably has no desire. She also probably is wondering if I would say something to her. The biggest reason that I will never say nothing to people like Larissa or Brianna directly is because for Larissa, you explicitly told me to get out of your life and never talk to you again. Cool. I'm going to honor that request. I'm never going to talk to you again. If you are sitting somewhere and you want to talk to me, I don't mind talking to you, but I would never initiate conversation, because I have a fear that if I initiate that conversation, you're going to be like, I actually never talk to me again. Please explain to me why you're talking to me again. That shit would break my heart. That shit would break my heart. Rejection really hurts me. And so that's the reason why I'm so quick to detach. Like, I think a lot of people think that, like, I'm super detached for, like, this healthy reason of, like, I keep my distance. No. I'm actually really insane. And I detach because I obsess. Even if we think about my present day situation, I'm not mad at that young lady because I think she's trying to take my man. Girl, take him. Take him wherever you want to go. Side note, I bought my little credit card one. I really am mad out of pride. I'm really sitting here, out of pride, like, you don't want to kiss my ass. You know what I mean? So I know for me, navigating friendships is like growing up and getting out of my own ass. You know what I mean? Because I know I was in my own ass a lot. You know what I mean? And so I ain't mad about that. I'm not mad about that. But I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I was thinking about something else. Brain was 12 different places. But we were talking about friendship, so let's get back onto that. Oh, my friend Bree. My ex-friend Bree. And the reason that I will never reach out to her is because she made her very much clear statement without making the statement. Okay? If one day you and your friend are talking and the next day you wake up and her account says add friend, if I see her at any of these, because we went to high school together, if I see her at any of these high school events, which I know I won't because I was the friend who made her go, it won't be that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say a word to her because why would I? That was what I was talking about. I was talking about rejection. And I was talking about my current situation. One of the biggest reasons that I feel so strongly about this connection with the young lady that, we messed around with and we're developing friendship with or what have you, is because I feel rejected by her. I text you and you are either not available or, like, for instance, me and her right now. And the last text message we had, I was asking her to help me find a nice boob tape. And she was like, okay, I got you. I'm doing something real quick. I'm gonna text you after I'm done. Now, she's a busy woman. She's raising her baby all on her own. I know how hard it is to live in a house with kids and there's somebody else here. So I can only imagine not having another adult to, like, lean on, talk to, what have you. Now, she has a really strong family unit to my understanding. But family doesn't always mean that you don't feel alone, right? Because having a partner is very important. So I understand that. But I had to get around my ego from feeling rejected, because I have a really big fear of rejection. I detach immediately from people who I feel are gonna reject me, because you won't reject me. Like when I started feeling like my ex best friend Larissa was ready to stop being friends with me, I started detaching from her. The day that we stopped talking, and she sent me the information and was like, the repo card came. When they send me the paperwork, I'm gonna finish paying this car off. Please don't talk to me anymore. I was like, bet, do that, cool. Now, I called my sister crying, Shay, and Shay being a big sister, not recognizing that, like, I just needed her in that moment, she approached Larissa. And so now she know I'm over here crying over not being her friend no more. Don't show my hand in that way. Don't show my hand in that way. But then I had to realize that is why people like that are not my friend. The young man who made that painting, who left me holding the bag having me holding my dick on that bag. Evidence that that's not my friend is, I should have felt comfortable enough to come and say, hey, what the fuck, bro? But I realized it's not. We wasn't friends. For the entirety of our connectionship, I was a supporter of his business. When it was time to support my business, he did in a way. Him and his family, I think they ordered like crowns really early in the game when I really didn't know how to do nothing extravagant. But the ongoing support wasn't there. And so my ongoing support can't be there. And that's okay. You know what I mean? I feel like people like him, people like the young lady who I used to get my press ons from, very soon, the young lady who actually does my nails, these are people who I feel miss my dollar, but they're also people who I was supporting because their businesses were very successful. Like I will never sit back and make it seem like I made Jamie's press-ons famous. I didn't. Now, me constantly buying them made more people in Chicago want to buy them. Yes, I was an influencer in that way, but that's just my job on the internet, period. My family is going to support whoever I support. So my family bought a lot of stuff from Ron, and bought a lot of clothes from him and stuff like that. That's what that is. I have 2 or 3 girls that I know that still go to my nail tech. And I'm going to still go to her when my friend who is doing nails, isn't available. Or when I don't feel like having no experimental set on my nails. I know for a fact that Netta going to get me right. I have no issues with her. But I also have to understand to myself, and I have to remind myself this, because I feel so heavy about rejection. I also feel heavy about rejecting people. So it hurts my feelings to think about the fact that soon I'm not going to be getting my nails done by this young lady, because I'll be getting my nails done by my other friend. And for me, it's like, that makes me sad. Like, for instance, if I were on the other end of the conversation I was having with that young lady, and somebody asked me to help them with something and I forgot to give it to them, I would think about it and I would spin that block. The reason that I had to get out of my own way and realize the difference between someone who I have I feel like a secondary friendship with versus like a more primary friendship is that young lady with me versus that young lady and my partner. I haven't heard from her since the titty tape conversation. They've had at least 3 or 4 conversations since then. And that also makes me realize what I said last week. They don't be talking about me, because if he brought me up, she probably would think, oh shit, I meant to talk to her about that titty tape. But they have their own relationship and friendship, and their relationship and friendship consists of a more consistent communication. That's okay. That's okay. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, his family, my man's family, talk to me on a consistent basis more than him. I know more about what's going on with his mother than he does. Energies are just what they are. And I think that is the biggest thing that I've learned about friendships as I grow older. Energies are just what they are. Some people, not your friend. They ain't gonna never be your friend. Y'all don't see the world the same. Y'all don't speak the same language. Y'all don't do things the same. It's so funny. I believe that if me and my partner did not have romantic feelings for one another, we wouldn't be friends. We don't see the world the same. I'm a very glass half full type of person. My partner, I wouldn't even say he's glass half empty. He's just like, the glass is half empty. Fuck that glass. Why are we even talking about glasses? Fuck all y'all. Like, he's such a different kind of person. And truthfully, I don't believe that he and I would just be platonic friends. And if we were just sleeping around, I wouldn't talk to him beyond walk in the house, how you doing, have sex, and walk back out. He's a cool young man, and as I get to know him, I realize he's dope. And I can admit that I would have missed out on a dope person because his delivery gets me every time. His delivery makes me feel uncomfortable. His delivery has been the most difficult thing, or I would say the most trying thing that I have experienced in this relationship. Is like understanding that he don't mean no harm when he say the shit that he say, but he's still gonna say it. And not only is he still gonna say it, but you gotta know that after he said it, whatever feelings that's still sitting in your chest, you gotta deal with, because he's moved on. That was the biggest thing I had to learn in this relationship. And honestly, that was the biggest thing I had to learn to advocate for. Hey, I know you don't mean no harm, but you just said some really hurtful shit. And now he's getting better because he's realizing, like, he's stopping himself and realizing, like, damn, that was mean as fuck. Why did I just say that? Why do people let me say that to them? I think that is the thing that makes me the most proud of myself in this relationship and friendship with my partner. Is I think that he loves me the way he loves me because I don't let shit slide. A lot of people let attractive, rude people just say and do anything. And they're just like, ha, 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 ha. That's so funny, Jeremiah. No, that's not funny. That's stupid. Why the fuck would you talk to me or anybody else like that? And that is attractive to him. It's so funny because I often think that I'm nagging him. Like when I bring up something about old girl or anything. Like for instance, this past weekend, I was sleeping in bed. Now, I sat and I laid in bed and listened to him have a conversation on the phone with his mother and his stepfather, literally while I was asleep. Then it get real quiet in the room because again, I'm asleep. I can hear what's going on in the room, but I'm asleep. I wake up, he across the room on the phone with this very same young lady. When he got off the conversation, came in the room with me, I told him, babe, you probably didn't mean for it to look weird, but that looked weird. You had a full conversation just now and did not care that I was asleep. And then I look up. Every door in the house, he said not every door in the house, but almost every door in the house from me to you was closed and you were on the phone with her. I don't believe the conversation that you had was sneaky, but these are the things that I want you to be mindful of. When you do things that feel mischievous, I have to say something because I have to explain it to him the way he says it, because he is a very outburst type of person. Like I told you guys before, my intrusive thoughts are there. I want to speak them. I want to say something. I'm going to say it. I can't keep it in my head type of guy. I am becoming that as it pertains to disrespect. I'm not going to let you just say and do anything that feels disrespectful. I'm not telling you sit in the room on the phone with me because that young lady does have a loud fucking voice. I heard her standing in here from my living room, and like I said, every door here between here and there was closed, and there are multiple doors between here and there. I understand why he went into the other room, but my thing is having the door closed was excessive in my opinion. Now, I understand it's been chilly. You probably had the space heater on. For me, though, that just felt uncomfortable. And I'm just going to tell you, like, we can't change it. I'm not telling you to tell me what the conversation is. None of that. I'm letting you know, waking up in my bed by myself after listening to you talk on the phone and then realizing that you picked one conversation to go to another room for and another conversation not to go to another room for don't make sense to me. I also had to let him know you said you've laid next to me and listened to videos on full mask. Again, just say you wanted privacy to talk to this person, and that's okay. That's what I'm trying to make him understand. Is I'm not trying to be like, why are you sneaking and talking to that bitch? What y'all talking about? No. What I'm saying to you is if I say, hey, what made you go into the other room? Be honest. And say, oh, I just wanted some privacy. Me and her wanted to talk about something. Maybe she wanted to talk about something private. I don't know her private business. Because again, me and her don't talk consistently. He feels like I will feel sad if he tells me something that she wants to share with me is none of my business. And I won't. What makes me feel sad is when he goes, ain't nothing, it's nothing, we ain't talking about nothing, we ain't got nothing to talk about, we having the same conversation that we would have had if I was in the room with you. I just chose to go into the other room. For me, that feels like a lie, and because that feels like a lie, I don't like it. I would prefer the honest to God truth, which is she wanted to talk about something a little bit more personal. I got out the room. Or the honest to God truth, which she did tell, so I won't say that. She's loud, and I didn't want her to wake you up. You're right. I did have a big response. I just woke up from a nap, and that feels weird to me. And I'm still navigating the way I feel about this relationship, right? For me, as I get into my 30s, friendship is about people whose lifestyle looks like my lifestyle. That's why I've been nitpicking, I'll say emotionally, at my friendship with this young lady, because now I understand. Her lifestyle is very similar to my lifestyle in that we are busy all the time. However, I'm always on my phone, so I'm a better communicator, in my opinion, than she is able to be in friendships. So now I have adjusted my expectation. I feel like I had a lot of issues with my friendship with her because I had the expectation of reciprocity. Whenever she messages me, I message back. Whenever anybody messages me, I message back within a few hours. If you message me and I haven't messaged you back within a few hours, it's because I'm literally on this phone at work or I'm on a life coach call. But if I'm not doing, or I'm doing this, and even when I'm doing this, I only do this for 30 minutes. So anybody, like my sisters are messaging our group chat, to check in, let each other know that we did our workouts, all of that. I did my workout before I started with y'all today, and I'm gonna do a second one this evening. But I make it my business to respond back to people because I don't get a chance to see people as much. She's a lot more carefree, and she kind of get back to people when she can, and she take the accountability and she move on. Now that I know that, I adjust my expectation. I'm probably not going to talk to her again because the last part of our conversation was, hold on, I'll get right back to you. So when she gets right back to me, if she gets right back to me, our conversation individually will pick up. If not, I'll see her at the Ari Lennox concert. Give me love, give me hugs. I have the yarn over here that I'm going to make her a present out of. I'm actually starting her present today, and I bought her a present. Her present is on the way, so we're going to make her a cute little gift bag. I think my partner is going to give her a little bit of money. So it's like, now I get it. Now I'm cool. And that's the problem, is he didn't know what the end game of all of my talking was, so he was nervous. I feel like as a woman, sometimes women, we build a case. We build a case like the feds, okay? And I think my partner was nervous about that. But like I told him, I'm not concerned about any romantic aspect of any of these relationships. Friendship is the base of anything. I recognize that certain people don't do friendship the way I do friendship. Like, even though I want to have a conversation with my former best friend, Larissa, just to clear the air, I don't think I ever want to have another friendship with who she was. I don't know who she is today. The woman she was when I had just turned 30 and she was in her early 30s, was not the woman that I wanted, was not the type of person I wanted to be friends with. Not because it was a negative thing, it wasn't aligned. She is a person who wanted to have friends that can show up at your house without any type of notice. Even when I didn't have a man, I don't believe in nobody showing up to my house without notice. She wants the type of friendships that you can talk on the phone for hours. I'm a busy person. I will talk on the phone for hours if you need me. I'm not going to constantly do that, though. I just don't have that time. I don't have that kind of time. I also have to recognize, as I get older and get more honest with myself, I just don't be wanting to kick it. I realize that. Like, once I get out and I kick it, it be cool. But just even texting, like, people, when you text me, I get to what I need to get to. I let you get to what you need to get to. We make our points and I move on with my day. I actually prefer time in my own head, in my own space, with my own thoughts, with my own energy. The young woman I was in my 20s felt like that was disrespectful to friends, or that was wrong to friends. And I never really just told myself and gave myself the permission to say, It's okay. You don't want to hang out with this person, that person, that person. That's okay. You don't have to always be in everybody's face. You don't have to always be in everybody's face just to have a good time. You just don't. And my 30s became, and I think a lot of our 30s became looking in the mirror and just being like, I know what I want. I know what I don't want. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, I know I don't want friends that still have little tiny kids. If your kids are really under 7, even though I have a friend who has, my friend I went out with last weekend has a kid under 7. My godchild is her kid over 7, right? Crazy enough, my godchild, her mother, who I just went out on brunch with Sunday, our friendship started because of some bullshit that a man did. Let's talk about it. So my baby mama, that's how we'll call her for the rest of the vlog. Her daughter is my god baby, right? This is how she became my god baby. She was pregnant with this baby. One of my old little whoops. My god baby's father. Me and him used to talk way back into time. 14, 15 years old. Dry humping. No sex. Kissing and touching through the clothes. Rubbing the fuck out of them khakis, okay? He's the first person, I can't say the only person, the first person to catfish me. He catfished me. I met him on tag. He lied to me about what he looked like. He walked past my house. He looked a fucking mess. I was sitting on my porch like... He grew into his features, though. He grew up to be a chiseled, handsome young man. He came to Chicago the year that his grandmother passed, while my baby mama was pregnant with my baby. And tried to, basically, he asked me to come over. Tried to use the sympathy to get some pussy, basically. Long story short. I didn't give him none because, first of all, bro, I watch your social media. You got a woman, and that woman pregnant. At that point, I had already experienced my first miscarriage. So I was very hypersensitive to women, birth, life, etc. No. So I was in his messages like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not letting you disrespect that woman. I'm not letting you talk down on her. I'm not fucking you. But I will come over, bring you some cigarettes, bring you some weed, bring you something to help you with your grandmother. I brought him some liquor. I brought him some weed. I brought him some cigarettes. We hung out for a little while. I won't lie. I laid in bed with him. We cuddled. Of course, we kissed a little bit. I feel like he fondled me. And I feel like once he got his fingers in me, I was like, hey, we have to stop this. This woman exists. No. I left. I went home. She went through his phone. She found and saw the messages where I was rejecting him. She messaged me, and she messaged me directly. She messaged me while I was at church one Sunday. And she basically apologized for, assuming that I was on bullshit, assuming that I would hurt her, making assumptions about da-da-da-da-da. And I appreciated her for that because as a woman, when a woman finds out that they are wrong, they don't have to give you an apology. That's why one day, from a sober mind, I do want to apologize to the young lady that my partner is friends with, because I did put a lot of negative energy into that without her even knowing. And so what my baby mama did, and I'm sitting here talking to y'all, and made me realize it's not enough to shift and be like, okay, we good. I also need to take accountability and take the initiative to say, hey, you don't know this, but I was feeling a way about you. I was feeling a way about you because of what your friend did, and because of how I felt like you were more protecting him than you were trying to be a good friend to us both. But I realized, that wasn't your responsibility. That's not your relationship. You don't owe me no conversations. And so I just want to say that I apologize. Not because I did anything directly wrong to you, but what I did was still wrong, and I want to take that accountability. I'm going to do that, and I want to do that from a sober mind. I feel like every time I see her, just because of what's going on, because of the casual nature of our friendship and relationship, I'm intoxicated, because usually when I see her, we're about to be physical. But I do want to invite her to just hang out and not be drunk so I can have that conversation, preferably a girl's day, so that way he's not there and I could just do it and it doesn't feel like a show. Like, I don't want everything that I do with her to feel like a show to him. Like, look, babe, look, I really want to have a relationship and a friendship with her on my own. But anyways, back to my baby mama. So my baby mama, she came, she apologized to me. Me and her started to talk. I told her, no problem. I want to pray for you. I pray for Brandon. Whatever. Fuck him and his name. But pray for you. I pray for Brandon. I hope everything is okay with your baby. I had started to check on her and the baby. And one day she asked me to be that baby's godmother. And I was like, absolutely. And that was kind of how that friendship happened. She is my only friend in my life with a child under 7. Her new baby just got here. New baby just started walking. And it doesn't feel the same because she has Majesty and she has her other sisters. So it's different. I realize I don't want to hang out with somebody who might have to leave at the drop of a dime or who might not be able to go because they have a young kid. My friendships in my 30s have to be with people who are in some form of artistic field, because I'm tired of spending time around people who don't get it. I think in your 20s, you do a lot of convincing. In your 20s, you're trying to convince people to not be your friend, but be into what you're into. And it becomes you trying to convince people. And that's why I think I had so much crazy energy in this friendship with this young lady that, is I'm presently navigating a friendship with, because I'm still unlearning a lot of the immaturity of my 20s, of like, why this don't look like everything else? Now I want to pick at this until it look like everything else. My 30s is teaching me to stop picking at things. Look at it. Appreciate it for what it is. And let that be it. My friendship with this young lady is great when we're in person, but she might not be that good at this type of communication. Cool. So I appreciate that she has been taking an initiative to put out more ideas for us 3 to hang out in person, because that is where we get the best energy from. Great. I like that. That is what this friendship is, and it doesn't have to be anything else. I have a friend who she and I FaceTime and smoke every day on our lunch breaks because we both work from home. That's what that friendship is. Sometimes I invite that friend out. She can't always go out to the brunch. And she's really bad on time. That's my girl. I love you, Bookie. She is really bad on time. If I invite her out, she might come, but she's gonna be coming as we leaving out. But she don't miss a FaceTime every day. We FaceTime and we smoke. That's what our friendship is. I got a friend I can cry to. I got a friend I can go to when I can't cry. I got a friend who I can jump a hole with. I got a friend who gonna stop me from jumping a hole. Growing up for me in friendships was learning every friend doesn't go in the same bucket. In my 20s, in my early life, I put everybody in the same bucket, friend. And I tried to make them all look the same and feel the same. It's like a bucket of crayons. I tried to make them all be the same color, and they're not. It's a box of crayons. Everybody's different. Some people go on this little section. Some people go in this little section. They're all still my friends. They're all still necessary. I love them all. They all don't serve the same purposes. And what I am learning in my 30s is to accept the purpose that people serve without trying to manipulate it into something other than what it is. And that has become so fucking peaceful. So fucking peaceful. In life, period, I accept people for who they are, and then I decide if I want to mess with them. That's why with my partner, I be like, stop it. Like, stop playing with me. I pay attention to everything that you do. So when your actions and your energy change, I'm going to say something about it. Not because I want you to feel bad, but because I want you to admit it too, because I don't want to feel crazy. I'm also still learning to trust my intuition. I lean into my intuition a lot, but a lot of times I do need external validation when my intuition is speaking to me. If my intuition is telling me that a friend is not being very loyal to me, then I have to talk through that, or it's going to tear my head up. That was the situation in this relationship, in this connectionship with this young lady. I had to ask myself, what was going on? Now I know what's going on. I feel better. I can navigate it. With my partner, I needed to ask him what was going on. Once he was like, okay, baby, It's not as deep as I think you are taking it, but it's not as light as I am expressing it. Thank you. That's it. I just wanted to know what was going on. With most friendships and people in my life, I have no desire to change you. I have no desire to alter you. I just need to know what is going on. And I think as we get older, that is like the desire. Or maybe it's just for me. But as I get older, I just want to know what the fuck is happening. You know what I mean? What Marvin Gaye, what's going on? What's going on? But I'm going to wrap us up. We're almost at the 40-minute mark. This is probably the longest vlog I've had. But this week I feel so good. I just wanted to talk to y'all. I will end this week taking some accountability and making some friendship goals for myself. I take accountability for being so self-centered and so focused on my own journey that sometimes I do not hold enough space for my friends. Now, I hold space for my friends. I know my friends are going to watch this and be like, bitch, you do a lot for us. And thank you. I do. I appreciate it. I do know that I can do better. And so I am holding myself accountable for doing better. I want to show up more often in my friends' life, not just for birthdays or special occasions. I want to start to be more honest with myself in friendships that are about to end and not just kind of let them fizzle out. I want to start having closure conversations. I want to start telling people that things don't work for me so I can release them from a place of certainty. Because I used to be a person that was like, I love silent cutoffs. I ain't got to tell you why you weird, bitch, I'm gone. And in a lot of situations, yes. But when you can, it is better to communicate. And that is what I am learning. A few friendship goals that I've set for myself. I want to do something with my friends once a month. Every month. I want to do something with my friends. Like, what's this? April, I didn't do nothing. Did I do something with my friends in April? Yes, I did. 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 Yeah, we went out. I went out with some friends in April. Yes. May, I've already gone out twice with friends in May, right? Saturday and Sunday. We went to a bar crawl Saturday and my man was there. And then Sunday I went to brunch, all ladies. And then this upcoming Saturday I'm going to Club 1BD. So I'm thinking already June I already planned one of my friends' birthday. I'm going to kind of be her like chauffeur situation for June. My birthday is July. Every month of my years from this point moving forward, my friendship goal is to make time and physical space for my friends. I don't want to let this digital world get to the point where the only time I see my friend is on a screen. I want to start making time to see my friends who are here locally, and I want to start making time to go on at least 2 out-of-state friend trips a year. I want to go see 2 of my friends out of state, have the actual vacation, and still see them. Because I feel like a lot of times I'm very unreasonable in this idea of I want everything and everybody to come to me. I want everything and everybody to pursue me. Even with my partner, I have to catch myself. I get angry about sometimes our lack of intimacy, but it's like, it's because I want him to pursue me, and there's nothing wrong with that. But people like to be pursued as well. I think about the young lady that, whose friendship I'm navigating as me, her, and my partner navigator friendship and connectionship. I was so hard on her emotionally from my end because I wanted her to kiss my ass. And this last few years of my life is me looking myself in the mirror and being like, girl, you're worthy. Don't get me wrong. You're worthy. You are worthy of being pursued and prioritized and chosen and all of that good shit, Ree. But you got to calm the fuck down, bro. Don't nobody got to kiss your ass. Calm down. And I'm learning to calm down. And as I calm down, life gets more calm. Like, I don't want to be doing all of that extra shit. I like who I am. And I will leave us there. I have learned to like who I am. And that helps me show up better, in my opinion, in friendships and relationships. So, if I'm going to give you some advice on my way out the door, learn to like who you is, bitch. I love you. Have a good day and a good week and a good weekend.